Hi everyone. If you're a subscriber, welcome back. If you're new to my channel, my name is Riley. Welcome to my garden, and today we're going to turn all of this into fresh marinara sauce. For our ingredients today, we're using fresh plum tomatoes from the garden, fresh basil from the garden, small red onion that I harvested from my garden probably 2 or 3 months ago, and this has been in storage, store-bought garlic, oregano leaves, celery salt, salt and pepper, and olive oil. Now for oregano, we could have been using fresh oregano from the garden. However, mine is not ready to harvest yet. Why celery salt? I have no idea. It's what my grandmother always put in her spaghetti sauce, and she was Italian. First up in our process is to boil these plum tomatoes. And in this large pot, I only have about 1.5 inches of water starting to heat on the bottom of this. You don't need a lot of water in the pot. These tomatoes will release a lot of their own water, and so there'll be plenty of water for these to boil. The water in the bottom of the pot is more to help prevent the tomatoes on the bottom from burning and sticking to the bottom of this pot. So I'm going to add these tomatoes to this water. I'm going to let this boil for 10 to 15 minutes, and then we're going to start moving on to step 2. Okay, our tomatoes, you can see how much water is in there now. All the water from these tomatoes has been released. Skins are starting to peel. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. I'll take it off of the heat now. Move it over here. Let that cool down just a bit. Now we're going to add in our, if I can find it, here we go, our onions and our garlic. Listen to this sizzle. And I'm going to turn this down to 4. I'm going to let that simmer. And we're going to cook this until these onions turn translucent. Now, just as a matter of information, this is the final dish or final pot that I'm going to be cooking the spaghetti sauce or marinara sauce in. So what we're going to do is we're going to process those tomatoes, and then we're going to be adding all of that right into this pot to continue to cook. The next step for us is to process these tomatoes through this tomato processing machine, and all this does is separate the skins and the seeds from the inner tomato goodness. And what we want in our sauce ends up in our small pan here, and what we don't want in our sauce gets filtered out into this pan here. Now, incidentally, I'm not going to recommend this unit that I bought. I think there's some design flaws with this unit. First of all, it's not tall enough, so the largest pan that you can use to put your tomato sauce into are these small Pyrex dishes like this. You can't get a big bowl under this because this chute just is only about 3 inches from the ground. There should also be an extension that comes off of this so that you don't have to try to finagle this little bowl in here beside this container to catch all of the skins and the seeds as they come out. Should be a little bit better designed. If I find one that really works well, I certainly will recommend it. But here we go. We've got our tomatoes. We are going to just start pulling them out of here. Drop them right in here. Okay, now all we have to do is just start processing. And you'll see the tomato sauce start to come out. Oh, I want that there. And there you see all of the skins and the and the peels coming out. All right. Now we're going to pass all of this back through one last time to get any more tomato sauce that we might have in there. And we have got it. Now, you're going to have a lot of tomato sauce around the screen, and what you want to do is get a spoon or a spatula and rub that all out into your Pyrex dish. All right. There we have it. Next step is going to be to transfer all of this into our pot where we've got our onions and we've got our garlic and we've got our olive oil. We're going to add our spices. We're going to add our basil. And I'll show you how we're going to finish this off. We have our tomato sauce transferred into another bowl. I have my pot here with my onions and my garlic in it, and I'm just going to dump this tomato sauce right into this pot, and with any luck, I won't spill it everywhere. Wow, pretty good. All right, next step we're gonna add, and I forgot to mention this in the beginning, about a tablespoon of sugar into this. And we do that to cut the acidity of the tomatoes, of these fresh tomatoes. We're gonna put in about a teaspoon of salt, or maybe a little more. Just a little bit of pepper. Now, oregano, we're gonna be putting in about 20 shakes, maybe a little more of this oregano. A little more for good luck. Celery salt, about 4 shakes. And last but not least, we're going to be adding fresh basil leaves to this. To about 8 of them. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. You could chop those up finely if you like your marinara sauce that way. We're going to go ahead and give this a good stir, and I'm going to heat this to boiling uncovered and let this boil for about 10 minutes uncovered. After that, I'm going to lower this to a simmer, and I'm going to let it simmer for 2 hours. See you in 2 hours. We have 8 minutes left on our 2-hour simmer. This smells and looks amazing. And I'll put in some close-up shots so you can see it. Everyone, my name is Riley. Thank you for visiting my kitchen today. If you enjoyed the video, please share it. It really helps the channel, and give it a thumbs up. And if you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button and don't forget to ring that bell so you'll be notified next week when we put out a new video.